So yesterday, what did we see? Some transaction codes, including how to create a vaccination plan. And also I have shown you, I think we went to the medical service and I have shown you how it gets updated into that medical service. So let's see what was the transaction.
So in that sir, vaccination plan means I have one doubt. Means there are four types, no, private, done externally.
Hmm.
So what is the difference between private and done externally?
Private in the sense, if the employee wants to get the vaccination done from a family doctor or maybe from one of the friend or colleague, or if there is any family member who is a doctor, they can go and get it done privately. But
Okay.
external means from any other hospital or any other medical center outside of the company.
But means private is already means also outside, na? I think.
If you want to consider like that, fine, you can consider. But private means that is what it is, as far as I understand. If there is some other meaning, fine. I don't know more than that. Okay, so this was the employee for whom we created the vaccination plan yesterday. And once we created and saved the vaccination plan, we got that same data updated in the medical service. Not only that, you can see this is also a medical service, but it is like I told you, it is a reference number, and it has assigned a service number 245 for that particular vaccination plan. Now, not only this, we'll see a few other examples. Like when I create a brief consultation for the same employee, again, it's going to get updated in the medical service automatically. So to create brief consultation, we go to EHS BC 02. Okay. Here again, we'll use the same employee name. It is also quite simple because this is just a brief consultation, not requiring lot of data or medical tests. It is very simple to create. But let me use the employee that we have used earlier. It is asking for employee. Right? Add the same employee. Go to the brief consultation category and select the category 1. Okay, select category 1. Next, below that, there are few other details we can maintain, like on which date this brief consultation was carried out. Okay, what is the protocol category? We have to select the category as brief consultation. And within that brief consultation category, there are several options, like in protocol number, what kind of brief consultation it is. Did we create this brief consultation like a medication, or did we create the brief consultation because the employee went and got the suggestion or advice, or whether this brief consultation was done via phone or email? Like that, we have several options. So that you can select here in the protocol number. And then finally, you can add exactly what detail you want to add for this brief consultation. If it was like a medication, then you can mention the employee was suffering from so and so. So he went to the physician and he got the medication for that particular illness. So you can give a brief description about that consultation. Right. So these things we have to add here. So let's say today this brief consultation was done. Next, select the protocol category. I told you brief consultation. Next, select the protocol number. So brief consultation, how it was done, either by phone, or did the employee go in person, or whether it was through email, or whether the employee went for medication. These are some protocol numbers we have under the category brief consultation. So whichever is applicable here in this case, you can select that. Maybe you can select the last one, brief consultation medication. Right? And then add some data about that. The brief consultation was carried out as the employee was suffering from headache, the employee visited the medical center. The employee visited the medical center and took the medication for the same. And took the medication for headache. Here, like that, simple few words, few lines you can add regarding that brief consultation. Next, if you know that physician name, like who is employed in your company, you can also add the physician name if you want. Again, it is optional to you. Maybe I will select here as a contractor. Okay, contractor is a physician. Then save this brief consultation. It is very simple, nothing much in this, because brief consultation itself is a very small activity. So all you have to do is select the employee name, select the date, and then you can add the description about that brief consultation and you can save the data. Very simple. So this is a brief consultation. Now again, if you go back to your medical service, we have created a brief consultation here by using a transaction code EHS-BC02. Now if you go back to the medical service, you will find this brief consultation data is also reflecting. It is getting updated. So let's check that. I have to refresh this once. So let me again go back to that medical service. Okay, now you have here two different services. One that was created yesterday with respect to the vaccination plan, and today we created a brief consultation. And if you observe, see, both are having different service numbers. For vaccination, yesterday we created, now we have the service number 245, and for the brief consultation we have the service number 246. So even the minutest data related to medical service, when you create, it is going to have a number assigned like this. Whether it is as simple as a brief consultation or any vaccination or any medical checkup, always medical service number will be created. So there is no escape from this. It is a mandatory data and it will be assigned automatically. Right? So this is a medical service number. You can go to examinations and you can check. No, I think here in general examination, you have the brief consultation also added here. Okay, will it have any next due date or next examination type? Because as I can see here, all these are blank. Brief consultation will have a next due date or not? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Brief consultation will have a next due date or not?
No.
No, it will not have, because it's just a one-time consultation. It is not something like, repetitively you have to go and get that consultation done. It's just one time. Because if you are going to take some medication for a headache, you will not repeatedly go every week, right? You will go once today and maybe after several months or after a year you will go again. It's not fixed. Neither taking advice from that physician, it is fixed. Today you are taking some advice, next you don't know when you are going to take. Maybe it will take after 2 years or 3 years, we don't know. So therefore, the next due date will be always blank for a brief consultation. Okay, clear guys? So your brief consultation also got added or updated in your medical service. Now, how many of you created this vaccination plan? How many of you created vaccination plan?
I have created, sir.
You have created, please share it in the group or at least you send it to me. Okay, so like you have to do practically, otherwise it will all be theory, you will forget it very soon. Okay, so please do this. Jayesh, you have done this? You created vaccination plan?
No, sir. Actually, yesterday and today I got only that creation of physician and all, sir. Display and check the physician. That I
Okay,
did.
then share the data if you have created.
Sure, sir. I will share in the group.
Yeah, share it in the group so that other people can also take some idea from that.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, so this private thing, what I told you, that is how it is as we understand. Uh, Again, like it depends how you take it. Privately means you take it from your family doctor or from your friend or from a family member. Done externally means it is from a hospital. Like if your company has a tie-up with a hospital, the employee will go to that hospital and from there they are going to get the medication. And by the way, that external hospital is not as good as your family doctor. You don't know who is the physician there. But still, you prefer to go to that hospital and take, so that is also fine. That is why we call it as a externally, done externally. Okay, but otherwise there is no much difference in both of these. So this is also what we have seen. Vaccination, brief consultation, medical service, and then yeah, let's move on. We have something here. It's like a customizing transaction code where you can edit the lab test and physical test. Okay, so maybe for this we have to go to EHS 31. EHS 31 to either create a new laboratory test or maybe you want to edit some data in an existing lab test, or maybe if you want to delete any lab test, that is also fine. You can delete, you can select and you can just delete it. So this is like a customizing transaction code more or less. So any new lab test, let's say if the company is going to provide to the employees, you can add that data here or you can create that lab test. Okay, for example, we can see here we have again, because we don't know too much about the lab test, how they do it or what will be the unit of measurement and all. So as an example, I had created this. I had created sample lab test. It was created in the month of April as a sample lab test, and I had selected some range 20 to 50 with 20 being a low normal range and 50 as a high normal range. So what is this actually? If you have went for any medical test, you might have seen this. Whenever you get the medical report, especially blood report, in that they will make a comparison. What should be the ideal value range? Like for example, what should I say? Like blood pressure, they will give a range. How much should be the normal BP range, one value and the higher value, and if your current value is deviating from that, if it is less than the accepted value or more than the higher value, then we can say that it is an abnormal test result. Okay, if it is coming within that range, then it is acceptable. Okay, for example, what other example can I give? Let's say weight, for example. We cannot say every person should have 60 kilogram as the weight. Okay, can we say that every person, whether male or female or whether young or old, everybody should have 60 kilogram? That is just a single value. Nobody can maintain that value. Ideally, it's not possible. So what do? They will give a range. Like they will say from 55 kilogram to 65 kilogram, this is the ideal weight. So for a person, it may be 55, for another person 57, for another person 61. But anyways, when that weight is coming within that range, it is still acceptable. Okay, so for every kind of medical test, most of them, at least we know that they exist in a range. It will have a lower normal value and higher normal value, but your current medical test, when you get the result, that value should not be exceeding 50 or it should not be less than the low normal value. It should be between this. Then we can say it is a normal reading or normal test result. Right, so that is what you see here. You have the test number, description of that lab test, lab ID. If you want to add, you can add. Then you have the unit of measurement, normal range, from what value to what value do you consider it as normal range. Then add the low normal value, high normal value, start date, from when do you want to start this lab test, from when do you want to provide this lab test, that you can add, and along with that the end date. So let's delete this first. So if you want to delete any existing test, you can just select that test number, and then below you have an option called delete row. Below we have an option called delete row. If you click on that, that particular lab test is going to get deleted. Right? And save the data because now it is deleted. Next, if you want to create again, fine. You can create one more, and let me call it as sample blood test. Okay, just as an example, sample blood test L009, unit of measurement what should I put? Okay, we have here something called as enzyme units. By the way, enzyme is something related to your lab test. So if you want, you can add enzyme units as the unit of measurement, or you can use enzyme units per milliliter. Both of these are applicable for our occupational health. You can choose any one, or maybe fluid ounce US. No, not this. Don't know if there is any other unit of measurement applicable. So let me select that itself. I will select enzyme units per milliliter, and normal range I am going to put between 65 to 75, where low normal value is 65, high normal value is 75. And start date will be from either today or tomorrow. You can select the start date. Select the start date, and end date. What should I put? End date. What will be the end date?
It will be the same.
But why they are using this date 31/12/9999?
Means the end date is not defined actually. Means it
Yeah,
can be
or
anything.
yeah, or it can be like it is a permanent lab test. We are not going to do it for a few months or few years and then stop. It is a permanent lab test. So as long as the employees are working there, as long as the company is functioning, this test will be available for the employees. That is the meaning of putting here end date as 9999. It's a permanent test. If you are only going to do this test once in a month, or maybe just for 1 month, you can put here 17/7/2026 as the end date. But that is not the case. We are going to have this test as a permanent test. So therefore put 31/12/9999. Okay, and save your lab test. Very simple. In a similar way, you can also edit any existing values if you want to edit. Like here we have a urine pH value. Okay, and they have given a range here also. They are saying it should be between 6 and 7. But if you disagree and if you tell that it should be between 7 and 8, then what you can do is you can add here 7-8, where the low normal value is 7 and high normal value is 8. You can edit, I mean, that is what we are doing here. So once you edit this and save the data, here the date will change again. Okay, not here, I think here on the right hand side, we have here 17.6. Maybe this will change. Let's see. Save the data. Yes, so it is showing my ID and it is showing today's date because today I have changed. So you can edit or you can delete or you can create a new lab test. It is your choice. Transaction code EHS 31. Next we have similarly physical tests. These are lab tests. You can also create, edit, modify any physical test. So for that, by the way, tell me one thing. I am creating here a lab test. Where are we going to use this? After creating here, it is just like a customizing data. We are creating some master data here. Where are we actually going to use this?
Medical
Hmm?
medical test or health surveillance.
Yeah, in the health surveillance protocol we are going to use. Because remember last time when we went to health surveillance protocol, there I have shown you for a particular person who is going for an employment medical checkup, what kind of medical test will be done for him, which will be the physical test to be done, which are the lab tests to be done. So there we have to add. So when you are creating a health surveillance protocol, inside that health surveillance protocol, we are going to add which lab tests are applicable. So here I added some sample blood tests, no? That let's say if you want to use it in the general medical checkup, then you have to go to health surveillance protocol. There you have to add inside the examinations. So that is the purpose of creating this lab test as well as physical test. So physical test, we have to go to EHS 21. Go to EHS 21 to create physical test. Again, it is same, nothing new. Only difference is all these are physical tests. So already we can see there are a lot of physical tests here related to ear checkup, vision, color sense, height, body mass index, and see here you have blood pressure. If you observe blood pressure also, see there is a low normal value and high normal value. Because the systolic blood pressure can vary from person to person. Some people may have 120 as the low normal, or it may go up to 130, 150 like that, but it should not exceed 180. So this is the ideal range. Ideal blood pressure should be between these two values. So these ranges are not only applicable for our lab test but also in the physical test. Right? So this is one. And if you want to create, again this I had created for another batch where I created a new physical test called as body temperature, and then I added here low normal value and the high normal value. So any person, if you feel that he is having fever, then in that case the body temperature should be more than 99 degree Fahrenheit. Then we can say he is having a fever. Or sometimes it may also go below, it may become less than 97 also. We call it as hypothermia. If the person is exposed to cold weather or cold water conditions, then the body temperature will keep dropping. Right? So if at all the body temperature is dropping, it may go below 97 degree Fahrenheit, and it is also abnormal. It should not go below that. So for a healthy person, ideal conditions, the body temperature should be between 97 and 99. Yeah, so like that I had created. It is again, if you have any other new physical test that we can provide, we can create. All your physical examinations or physical tests that are done, they come here under physical tests. Right? Clear so far? Here also, if you want to delete any of this, you can select and delete the physical test, or if you want to create a new one, you can also do that.
So, if, for example, if any employee goes for a initial examination, and we are importing the data from the laboratory directly,
No,
so
no.
means these parameters will be cross-checked with that machine, or
No, see here, this is for our own reference. Again, see,
okay,
as a EHS professional, I will not be knowing exactly what will be the medical values. The company is going to provide all these values. They will consult with a physician or with the doctor that they have employed. They will collect this information and they will give it to us. So when we are configuring the data, we are going to use the values provided by the client. Okay. So according to them, they will refer to a medical practitioner and then they will give you these values. So when you are creating any health surveillance protocol, you will have some idea like what should be the physical test range, and if you are doing any blood test, what should be the ideal range. So it is for your own reference. Sometimes, if you have any in-house facility to do the physical test, at that time also you should have some idea, no, like what is the normal value, because body temperature and all you can do it within the company premises itself. Or if you are taking weight or if you are measuring the blood pressure, you don't have to send him to any hospital. So at least when you are doing some physical tests within the company at the company health center, then you need to have some reference values. Without that, you cannot make the comparison. That is why we have to create this physical test as well as lab tests.
okay,
By the way, these values will be like normal everywhere. So one standard value is applicable whether you are doing it outside the company or within the company. You will know what is the ideal value. Just like how we know that 100 degrees Celsius is the boiling point for water, it is known, it is a standard value. Or the noise level should not exceed 85 decibel, this is also a known value. So even in the medical field, there are normally accepted standard values for all the different types of tests. So that they are going to provide you the data and we have to configure this. Okay, so these are lab tests and physical tests. Okay, what else we have? See, some transaction codes again, guys, they are not working as planned. See, for example, this also from a long time the same issue is appearing. Like if you want to open a medical service, there is a transaction code EHS SCRV01. Okay, to open a medical service. So it will take you to schedule planning. The problem is in the schedule planning itself. Now what we are going to do, we have to open a medical service for an employee. And how will you do that? First we have to search for that employee name, add that employee or applicant or external person to the list. From the list we have to add those employees to the planning list, and from planning list we can open a medical service. This is a procedure. But the problem is occurring whenever we are trying to add the people from the list of persons into the planning list. Because of some filtered settings, we are not able to add the people to the planning list. Okay, but I will show you exactly what is happening. Let's say you can either select one employee or multiple employees. Again, it is your choice. Select the employees that you want to add to the list of persons. Example, let me select any three of them. Okay, we have added the people or the employees into the list of persons. Now next step, if you want to either assign a protocol or if you want to open a medical service for anything that you want to do, you have to add these employees to the planning list. Only then you can do it. Directly from here selecting and opening a protocol is not possible. We have to add them to the planning list. So you can add them individually, like one person at a time, select the employee name, and you have to click here on the option add to planning list. I think I had told this before. By selecting this option, we can add the employee to the planning list. But see what is happening. Person is not displayed due to filter settings. We have tried a lot and we also asked the service provider also a lot of times, but we don't get any help from them. Every time when we are trying to add a person to the planning list, this same message appears. I don't know what is the problem. We tried out everything, but it's not working. Let me select the last two and try to add them. Okay, add to planning list. Again, same kind of message. What is this filter settings? We have tried lot of times, but it is not happening. Okay, so this is one transaction code not working. There are a couple of others also. This is transaction code used to open a medical service. But there is another transaction code which is fortunately working. Let's say scheduling medical service is also now.
Hello, sir. Can you please open the transaction from menu, SAP menu, where
Here.
from logistics and then yes, then occupational health.
Hmm. Even from here, shortcut also, if you go, it will take you to the same screen.
Yes.
So whether you are directly using a transaction code or whether you are, going from here, it doesn't make any difference. The problem is something related to technical. Still, let's see. It is going to something else. Planning cockpit will see that directly. We have a transaction code and it is working. But other than that, we don't have anything related to creating a medical service. That option we don't have here. Edit medical services, let me see this. No, not even this. No. Let me say this EHS term 01. EHS term 01. This is for scheduling a medical service. But I think, yeah, same issue may be also existing here. But let's see. Let's see. These demo systems are not always, perfect. They may be like 90% or 95% as good as a real system, but still there are some drawbacks. Like, whenever some technical issue comes, we cannot actually rectify, neither can we get the support. It may look ideally like a real system, but again, there are some drawbacks. Let's see now.
Sir, again, there is one system which, which we can install in the directly in the laptop, like on local PC.
Which one?
Is this fine? Mhm. We can say on premise like that.
Yeah, that is a very old software. It will take a lot of memory.
Yeah.
500
Mm,
GB you should have in your system. 500 GB free space.
near about 300 GB it will take.
Yeah, 300 to 400 it will take. But I mean, it will make your system very slow. That is why we are using this now. We are using GUI so that with minimum resources we can use this software.
Mhm.
On the system, if you install, then it will eat up a lot of space and it will be much slower also, by the way.
Yes.
That's why we go with this GUI. But
But maybe,
unfortunately, hmm,
this software, that software don't have much problem. Maybe it works.
it's not like that. Even in that, there are technical issues. It's not like
Mhm.
100% accurately it will work. Even there are problems. See, you take any demo system. Demo system is like, just used for practice purpose, or if you want to test some transaction codes, they use the demo system. So therefore, SAP do not update it very frequently. Just like how they do the real system, they don't update the sandbox system. You come back after 10 years, whatever data was there, no, 10 years ago, same data will again be available.
Mhm.
They don't even update the dumb data. So it's
Okay.
not 100% accurate. That is why sometimes we cannot try out all the transaction codes. Okay, anyways, let's see. But there is one transaction code related to planning cockpit that it is working, and I can show you how to open a medical service, how to assign the health surveillance protocol, how to go to medical practice calendar. Everything can be done by using the planning cockpit. Fortunately, that transaction code is working, and we'll be able to see that. But apart from that, there is one more transaction code called EHS Assign. In EHS Assign, we can only assign the health surveillance protocol for an employee. Let's say you want to send the employee for some medical checkup. Okay, you have to go to this particular transaction code, select that employee, and you can assign that medical checkup. It can be either general medical checkup, employment checkup, or noise exposure medical checkup, whatever it is. You can assign that medical checkup for the employee. So we can see that by using transaction code EHS assign. Again, it is going to schedule planning, but I don't know. See, the same screen, same application. For other things, it is not working properly, but for assigning protocol, it will work. So again, let me select an employee. Let me select an employee. Either you can select one person or multiple employees, your wish. I'm just selecting here a single employee, but you can add multiple also. Then add to the planning list. That employee will get added under the planning list. Now you can only assign the protocol. So before you assign the protocol, select that person. Then go to health surveillance protocol and assign the protocol. So assigning protocol means we are selecting which medical checkup this employee will go. That is assigning the protocol. All these options are there. Even vaccination, by the way, if you are going to send the employee for vaccination, you can even create that here. Or if you want to assign any brief consultation to be carried out, even that you can assign here. So we have two options. Either you can do it from here, schedule planning, or there is a separate transaction code given for vaccination and brief consultation. From there also you can do the same thing. Okay, but more importantly, it is used for the medical checkups rather than vaccination and brief consultation. It is used for the medical checkups. Like for example, employment, medical checkup. Select the protocol number as employment checkup. For medical checkup employment, we just have one examination type because it is done just once. So the examination type will be just initial examination. Then add the due date. If you are going to send the employee for medical checkup tomorrow, you can put tomorrow's date and then you can save this protocol. So now what happens actually here against this employee name, you can see that a employment category has been added along with the protocol number, and also it will show on which date is it supposed to go for that medical checkup. So along with the due date, what is the status of the assignment, and it will show what is the protocol category. Only this much you can do because the purpose of this transaction is only to assign the protocol to a person. You cannot do other activities like opening a medical service or going to medical practice calendar, all that. Here it is not possible. Okay, we can only assign the health surveillance protocol. So this is one transaction code which is part of your schedule planning. But what to do with the other things? If you want to open a medical service, if you want to create an appointment and all those things, if you want to do, how will you do it? We have another transaction code called planning cockpit. You can go to planning cockpit EHSH _D _PCP. PCP means planning cockpit. So by going to this transaction code, you will be able to perform all the activities, right from assigning protocol, opening medical service, okay. Then you can assign or create the appointment, and you can share the invitation letter. All this can be done in this planning cockpit. Planning cockpit is also a part of your schedule planning itself, but there are more options that is given to you in the planning cockpit. So let's do that. Add number of employees. Okay, select the employees. Then you can select them all and add to the planning list. Select all employees. So how will you select all employees? There is a small button. If you see here beside the last name, there is a small button. If you select that, it will select all. It is a select all option. Or if you want to select only one or two employees, let's say two employees, press control button and select whichever you want to add. Like select the second employee and the third employee by pressing the control button. Or if you want to select all, you can click here and it will select all the employees. So whichever you want, you can do that. Okay, let me select all. Select all, then go to add to planning list. It will add all the 4 employees. Here again that error is not coming. You can add the employees to the planning list. Now one by one you have to perform the scheduling process. So why we use planning cockpit? Planning cockpit is used for scheduling the medical services for the employees. Right from the start till the end you can do. So for example, let's select the first employee and Scott Anderson, and we will assign a protocol to him. Go to protocol, assign a health surveillance protocol. So we are deciding for which medical checkup he will go. Let's say either you can select employment or any other, no problem. So protocol number will be employment checkup. Next examination type will be initial examination, and then add the due date for this medical checkup. Okay, then click on continue so that this particular protocol will be assigned for this employee. You can go to the right hand side and you can check employment checkup protocol has been assigned for this employee. So it contains protocol category name, then the protocol number, what is the status of this protocol, and what is the due date. All this information you can see here if you go to the right hand side. So this is assigning protocol. Next step is we have to open a medical service, because without medical service number we cannot track, or we don't know what is the status of that particular medical checkup. So therefore we have to open a medical service. In the second step we are going to open a medical service. So directly also you cannot open. See, now if you think I can directly go to medical service and open medical service, it will not happen. Okay, you will get a message like this. So what you have to do, you have to select this protocol. You see here we have the protocol selection button. Select that protocol and then go to medical service, and here you can click on open medical service option. I think already, because I selected the yes button, no, it's coming. Okay, let me remove this. Okay, we'll again start from the beginning. Select the person name, go to protocol, assign health surveillance protocol. Okay, let it be same. Continue. Now I want to open a medical service. So select this protocol without going for any other option. Go to medical service and open medical service. So now what happens? If you go to the left hand side, you can see that a medical service number has been assigned. Okay, and not only that, it is also giving you what is the status, because just now I have opened a medical service, it is having the status new. But if you go to the options, you can find there are many other statuses. So the medical service status you can change. When you are creating for the first time, it will be new. If the employee is not confirming whether he is able to go to that medical checkup or not, there is no confirmation. In such a case, we can keep the status here as not confirmed. Or if he is confirming that he will go for the medical checkup, you can change the status to confirmed. If he confirms and does not go for medical checkup, then you have to select no show. Or for some reason, if you are cancelling that medical checkup, you can select the option cancel. So whichever status is applicable for this particular medical service, we can select that from the available options. Let's say this, in this case, I am going to confirm, because employee is available and he will be going for medical checkup. So you can select that status as confirmed. If at all by any reason, if you have the physician name, you can also add the physician name. Like if that physician is an external physician, but you have the name or the detail of that physician, you can add it if you want. Okay, let's add. External person means, no, they are not our company employees, they belong to a hospital, and you can add any of them. One second, like this. I have to change the BP role, no? It is not HEA 030. It is HEA, I think 020. Let me check. I want external physician details. So I have to select the BP role for external physician. Okay. See, it is HEA 020, not HEA 030. So select HEA 020 as the BP role. Under that role, if there are some physicians available, you can choose any one of them. I think we don't have because it's not showing any value. Let me change it to 101. Okay, these are also physicians, by the way, but they are not external physicians, they work within the company. But fine, no problem, we'll select anyone. That's fine. So we are able to add the physician name as well in your planning cockpit. Okay, so we have assigned a health surveillance protocol to the employee. We have opened a medical service with the service number as 248. And next step, we have to create an appointment. Okay, we have to create an appointment. So to create an appointment, again, don't forget we have to select the service. We have an option here, we have a selection pane where you have to go and select the service and then go to medical practice calendar. So medical practice calendar, already I have shown you how it looks like. You can go to that medical practice calendar, select the date on which you are planning to send the employee for medical checkup. See, before this also, we have created some appointments. Like if I go to 11th, you can see here. Or I think even on 23rd, even on this day, there is some medical service that was scheduled. Okay, anyways, let me go to 19th. And on 19th, I want to send the employee for medical checkup, let's say from 8 o'clock up to maybe 11 or 12, right? So select the date. It is on 19th of June we are going to send. This is the date. Select the time and then you can click on create appointment. Above that there is one option called create appointment. You can click on that so that it will take you to another appointment calendar. It is just like your Outlook calendar. Here date is fine, it is the same. You can just select the start time and end time. Select start time and end time. If it is a medical checkup that you feel that it will happen for the entire day, you can select all day event, but normally it doesn't happen. If at all you need, you can select all day event option. Next, room number, this is not applicable here because we are not creating any meeting. If it was a meeting, then I will know the room number, but this is a medical checkup. So you can leave it blank. No need to add a room number. Next, if you go to the right hand side, we have the time zone. I am creating this appointment under what time zone? You have to select the proper time zone. Let's say Central Europe. Okay, as an example. And then below that, there are some attributes also you can select. This particular appointment that I am creating, it is a medical appointment. So what do you want to do? Whether you want to keep this visible to all the people, I can select public. Then we have another option where if you want to keep this appointment, medical appointment as private. There is also another option called secret, but exactly why they have given this option I don't know. Or what is the use, what will happen if I select secret, I don't know. But normally we know what is a public option and what is a private option. When I select private, no other person can go and see all the details like this, like what is this medical checkup about, when they are sending, or any other detail they cannot see. So either you can select public or private. Secret, I don't know, I have to find out. Okay, so let me keep it as private. What is the priority? This medical checkup for which you are sending the employee, it's just an employment checkup. So priority will not be high. You can keep it as medium. And then add some description for this appointment. Like for example, this medical checkup is a general medical checkup for all those employees who have recently joined the organization. This is a mandatory medical checkup. You can add some description like this. Okay, then click on continue. So that it will create a appointment. You see here, it has created an appointment starting from 8 o'clock to 10:30. It is showing, depending on time zone, it will be varying. So this is a medical service we have created. Then again click on continue below so that it will save that appointment and you can come back to the planning code. Right? Clear so far? Any doubt in this? After creating appointment, see here, it is also showing the time. Earlier it was not showing. Now it is showing the time, what is the total duration of that medical checkup. That also it is showing here. Total 3 hours the medical checkup will be carried out. After that we have invitation. Click on invitation. It will ask, do you want to print questionnaires also? You can click yes. And then select any one output device, because I just want to show you how that appointment letter looks like. Not appointment letter, invitation letter. Select any one output device, then click on print preview, and you can see the format of your invitation letter. So here we have the doctor name, the employee name, and on which date are we going to send that employee for medical checkup, at what time, and then it contains other details. Right, so we hereby confirm the appointment arranged by telephone for the date on 19th June at 8 o'clock in the morning, and look forward to seeing you. Please complete the attached questionnaire as accurately as possible and bring it with you to the appointment. This is a invitation letter. So you can take a printout of this invitation letter and you can hand over to the employee so that he can take this invitation letter during the medical checkup. Okay, this is just a format. Again, you can create your own format of invitation letter and you can add it. This is given by SAP as a standard. Next, if you click on back button, it will also take you to the questionnaires. Maybe now the call will get disconnected. If at all it does, then tomorrow we'll see. But let me just try to show you the questionnaire.